This magnificent location, set high on a cliff, with Wollongong in the background and the beautiful Sea Cliff Bridge, is in the Royal National Park just south of Sydney. And this is Toyota's Hilux. Australians continue their love for SUVs, and although this is considered to be an LCV or light commercial vehicle, it's still used as an SUV. The range comes in 6 variants with 3 body styles, 3 engines and 2 transmissions. This is the top of the range and it's the Rugged X. It's the top of the 6 variants. The Workmate, SR, SR5, Rogue, Rugged and Rugged X. They start at $27,027 to $67,206 plus $2,000 for automatic. There's a 5-speed manual or a 6-speed auto. This of course is the 6-speed auto. This has just got so much stuff thrown at it. Of the 3 engines, this is the 2.8 litre engine and it's the most powerful engine in the range. On the Rugged X, you get the rugged decal on the bonnet, along with this bull bar. That's really solid. Driving lights, and this is a light bar. This is an LED light bar that would light up the world with the power of about 15 suns. You'll notice the sides of the bull bar are chamfered, and that's to give a greater angle of attack. So when you're going up to a rock or whatever, you'll be able to get a greater angle. I think it actually looks pretty good. There are also rescue points front and back, and you can hook onto these things and haul your car out of trouble out in the bush. This bull bar is also able to take a winch. You don't need to get the key out of your pocket to get in this 4-door model. There's a little rubber button here, you just press that and the car will unlock as long as the key's in your pocket. There's also a button inside to start it. And down here is a piece of metal that you'd be able to hold up the Opera House with. It's a rock guard, believe it or not. This thing will take the weight of this car sitting on top of it, on top of a rock. Now how's that for rugged? Around the back, we've got those rescue points I mentioned earlier, and up here is the reverse camera. This is a brilliant idea and it makes driving this car so much easier. There's a tow bar and this, again, fairly sturdy bumper. Getting into the tray is as easy as pulling that handle down, and it is lined on the floor. So you can actually just throw your stuff in and you won't damage the metal of the boot. The Hilux is 5,333 millimeters long and it weighs 2,252 kilos. It's got a claimed fuel consumption of 7.8 for the manual and 8.5 for the automatic. It's got hydraulic rack and pinion steering too. With the 3 different body styles, you can seat either 2, 4 or 5. This one can seat 5, just. Despite its size, space in the back is actually pretty tight, and I certainly wouldn't want to do a long trip in it. You can get them in 2 or 4-wheel drive with a 2.7 litre petrol, 2.4 or 2.8 diesel. This car has low beam LED and daytime running lights, the light bar I already mentioned, the Rockwell sport front bar. The bull bar has attach points which are winch compatible, the recovery points, which I've already told you about, a cool glove box, climate control, 7-inch LCD with reverse camera, but there's no Apple CarPlay. There's hill start assist and downhill assist as well. And this functional sports bar. Ouch. You can see there's not a huge amount of room in the back, considering how big this car is. There's a few centimetres between my knee and the seat in front, and it is sculpted out quite a lot, so imagine what it would be like if it wasn't. You can fit 3 in here, but I really wouldn't want to. There's some vents in the back for air conditioning, and down on the door there's just enough space for a small bottle of gin. And rather cleverly, they've got these neat deployable The front seat's got plenty of room and there are lots of little bins and bits and bobs. Down here on the door, there's a place for another bottle of gin and some maps, though you probably don't want to read the maps after you've been into the gin. There's window switches, a tweeter, and over here is a start button. This is a pretty capable vehicle. Let's see what it's like on the road. This is what these cars are now meant to be about. Sure, you can have a lot of hairy-chested tradies and grey nomads towing their caravans, and of course this will tow, make no bones about it, it's got tons of torque. But you can just as easily use it like I'm using it, and that is a nice drive in the afternoon through the Royal National Park. These twists and turns you wouldn't expect would be so brilliant for such a large vehicle on such big tyres with hydraulic steering and a diesel, but it's fun. It really is fun. The entertainment system is actually pretty good, despite the fact that it doesn't have CarPlay. Though I hasten to add, although it has digital radio, I can't find one of my favourite stations. It simply doesn't display those blocks for whatever reason. So it's not quite as straightforward as some of the systems I've used. You can do everything from inside the cabin, so should you find yourself suddenly stuck in mud, there's buttons down below to press for four-wheel drive to engage the full system. Other than that, it's just driving the rear wheels. That's the main difference between a proper four-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive. All-wheel drives don't have low range, and all-wheel drives are mostly all-wheel drive all of the time, most of them anyway. So this, you can put it into low range and you can use the diesel engine to crawl out of ditches and things like that. Driving through these twists and turns is surprisingly simple. I'm really thoroughly enjoying it, and the cabin is incredibly quiet. I'm not talking very loud at all. Fuel consumption is actually pretty good. This car though has on-road driving modes as well as a few little bits and bobs for off-road driving, and I've currently got it in power mode. And in power mode I'm getting about 10.5 litres per 100 kilometres, which is respectable. It's okay. I can hear the snorkel, the thing that goes up the A-pillar. It allows the Hilux to go into quite deep water, and I can hear it breathing, I can hear it sucking in air. It's quite an unnerving feeling, really. Just about to turn onto the highway. My foot was by no means down, and we're now at 100. And with that 2.8 diesel, there feels like there's this bottomless pit of power. Interestingly, with my little friend up here on the windscreen, my NAVMAN is telling me that I'm doing 100 kph, but the dial is telling me that I'm doing 110 kph. 10%. The USB and power ports are behind one of these bottle holders, which is you'd have to take it out to kind of put your USBs in, which is a bit annoying. Strangely enough, only the driver's seat has electric adjustment. You'd think for 70 grand they could have run to a bit of electric adjustment for the passenger. Like most Toyotas and Hondas and most Japanese cars, anything that's sold in America, anytime you want to do something to the settings, navigation, phone, whatever, and the car starts to move, it all grays out. You can't do anything on the move. They assume you're never going to have a passenger that could do that for you. Hilux is not for everybody. These LCVs are not for everybody, but they are very nice to drive. They're handsome looking beasts, and a pickup style truck does lend itself to a lot of daily things you wouldn't normally be able to do if you had, say, a family hatchback. I'm going to rate Hilux at 7 out of 10. I think Hilux is a great car. I would happily have one tomorrow. Is it the best on the road? Who knows? Is it the best off-road? Who knows? What you can say is it's the top-selling vehicle in the country, depending on the week. As always, leave comments below and let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little round symbol wherever it is.